Boom. All right, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Crypto Convo, series where we cover exciting news and price action in the land of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. You guys, of course, crypto is the most exciting sector in the entire financial markets right now, so I'm always going to be pumped to sit down and record one of these for you guys. Let's get into it. As always, we'll go over each topic that we're going to be discussing, and we'll dive into each one individually. In front of us, of course, TradingView got a lot of exciting price action to go over for Bitcoin. Bitcoin just hitting its new all-time high at over $28,000. You guys, crazy times. We have confirmed this bull market. We are in the midst of the FOMO and all that crazy good price action. So we will, of course, talk future potential price action. I'll let you guys know what I'm seeing on the charts personally. Going down the watch list in this order. Kicking off with the king, of course, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, and then XRP, which is putting kind of a cloud over the altcoin sector right now. I will go into why I think that and why I personally dumped my entire bag of XRP. So we will focus on that at the end. But again, you guys, so much exciting stuff to go over in terms of price action. Definitely excited to get into the charts with you guys. But in terms of news, because we always have to cover the fundamentals as well. The fundamentals for Bitcoin right now specifically are equally as exciting, if not more exciting than the technicals. So in terms of news, we will just go over this one piece of news. Bloomberg, Bitcoin on longest winning run since 2019 after topping $28,000. You love to see it, guys. You love to see these mainstream media outlets really picking up Bitcoin, really putting a light on Bitcoin right now as we close out 2020. Okay, so we'll go over this article quickly, just to reinforce what we already all know. So go over that. We will then, of course, go over this at the end, like I said. So we will go over this article to kick the video off. We will then move to the charts, go over some TA on Bitcoin, Ether, and Chainlink. And then after we do that, we will move into XRP in the end, go over this SEC debacle that Ripple has found itself in, and just understand why, again, I've dumped my entire bag of XRP. Sadly, I was very excited on XRP for a very long time, but after looking into this for myself, I've decided that Ripple is not a project that I want to be involved in personally. And again, it's unfortunate, but that's the reality. You got to adapt to the situations, both good and bad. So we will read over this. We will go over this piece. It's kind of a content recommendation that I have for you guys. If you're not familiar with the whole Ripple, again, just all the SEC allocations against Ripple and the XRP security. So this is a piece of content I recommend you guys watch. Hopefully after this video, you guys can watch it right now if you want. But this guy, Jason Calacanis, he really breaks down this whole situation pretty well. If you guys aren't familiar, this guy's a very successful angel investor, and I respect him a lot as an investor, so I do respect his take. He makes it easy to listen to too. So I do recommend you guys go listen to this if you want to educate yourself on the Ripple situation this week in Startups with Jason Calacanis Emergency Pod. Okay. So again, we will get into that at the end, just because I want to focus on all the good stuff first, bad stuff last, so you guys can just tune out if you want to. But that said, I do want to kick this off right now with the intro to this morning's newsletter that I sent out, of course, to the portfolio and newsletter group, just because I went into, we kicked off such a great week, you guys. Like we talked about yesterday in the stock watch, talking about how it was almost inevitable that all Bitcoin related stocks like Riot, Mara, GBDC, MicroStrategy were all going to cap up significantly pre-market. They did exactly that. They tapered off a little bit over the course of the day, I should say, but all those stocks absolutely crushed it today. I mean, who was surprised here? But I will be releasing a video tomorrow. Hint, hint, it is my #1 stock pick of 2021. I'm sure you guys know where I'm going with that. But just a hint, I will be talking about some of our beautiful Bitcoin mining stocks in that video. So stay tuned for that. But let's get straight into this morning's newsletter, at least the intro and the Bitcoin coverage. So we're kicking off the last week of 2020 with a bang, guys. The markets overall are in the green today following Trump officially signing the relief bill stimulus package last night. The House is set to vote on the $2,000 stimulus check instead of $600 today. I personally don't think it'll pass, but hey, $600 is still much better than nothing. The important thing is that the stimulus bill is finally in motion and that the money printer is getting fired up. Let's hope that thing keeps burning throughout 2021. I can't do the tongue curl, I'm sorry. Remember, guys, the more money that gets printed, the more valuable assets like equities, which are stocks, precious metals, and of course Bitcoin become. So again, you guys, the more money that's printed, the more ultimately devalued the US dollar, the DXY becomes, and the more valuable all sound money assets, all assets, again, that aren't the US dollar, but especially sound assets with sound money principles, like precious metals and most of all, King Bitcoin. These are the types of weeks we prepare for, Waves fam. Let's get into it. And again, we did go on to talk about, of course, Riot and stuff and some of the Bitcoin plays, but I will just focus on what I said in regard to Bitcoin itself. At this point, how could we not kick it off with Bitcoin? Bitcoin is successfully using the previous line of resistance on its ascending channel as a new line of support. This gives me reason to believe that it's likely we don't see levels lower than this in the short term and continue the rally. The fundamentals and technicals are both so strong for Bitcoin right now that it's honestly hard to tell how high we could go. Again, guys, we're in blue sky territory now. Strap in and do your best to stay rational during what will inevitably be highly volatile times. Okay, so like I've been saying this whole time, you guys, we have confirmed the bull market. We are in the bull market. There is hype. There is FOMO kicking in. And once you get into those level of hype and FOMO, it's very hard to dictate how high we can go. It's very hard to read the tops. It can be hard to read the bottoms just because there's so much emotion involved in the markets. And you guys know we pride ourselves on combining both fundamentals and technicals on this channel. You need the perfect blend of both to properly dictate price action and where these prices could go. But right now, in all honesty, it's way more speculative than pretty much this entire year for this channel. This is now that we're in blue sky territory again. Once again, that is where we're in all-time high territory. Bitcoin is at its all-time highs. It is very hard to dictate how high it could go. And again, you really get into kind of the game theory side of trading when we get to levels like this. Okay, so I'll explain that a little more when we do look at the charts. But before we do that, you guys, of course, I will ask you to please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it today, or if you're invested in any of the cryptos we're going to be talking about. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, want to catch more content like this. I do appreciate that. And of course, check out my complete portfolio daily newsletter, which I did just read for you. This is exactly what it looks like in your inbox. Again, we go on to talk about stocks, a whole bunch of other charts as well. So entire breakdown, call options, put options, stock positions, cryptocurrency positions. I do update that every trading day during market hours. And with every update, I do send out an email newsletter rationalizing my thoughts to you guys, letting you guys know what I think is important in the markets, just to give you guys an idea of how I'm performing, how I'm navigating that current date in the markets. So greatly appreciate it if you join the newsletter, fam. First link in the description if you want to check that out. If not, as always though, no worries at all. Let's get into this article. It's a quick one, you guys. It's sharp. Bitcoin on longest winning run since 2019 after topping 28,000. Largest cryptocurrency hit its all-time high on Sunday. Wider interest spurring regulatory scrutiny of crypto industry. So that's a little FUD right there. That's a little scare tactic. I'm not worried about that headline at all. Bitcoin is on track for its longest monthly winning streak in more than a year after touching a record above 28,000 over the weekend. We did also exceed a $500 billion market cap. Many of you guys know that a $1 trillion market cap is where I do believe we'll see significant kind of medium-term resistance for Bitcoin. But from here, that's still 2x. So that still takes us to over 50K Bitcoin if we do hit a $1 trillion market cap. I'm sorry, I think I said $1 billion. But a $1 trillion market cap currently just exceeded the big $500 billion mark. The largest cryptocurrency reached an all-time high of $28,365 on Sunday before pairing some of the advance, according to a composite of prices compiled by Bloomberg. The run of outsized returns over October, November, December so far is the longest such stretch since mid-2019. My sense is that we're very close to a top. We could hit $30,000 though, said Vijay Iyer, head of business development in the crypto exchange Luno in Singapore. We should definitely see a pullback, but the magnitude is probably lesser. We might only see 10 to 15% of drops. So the reason I wanted to include this man's Vijay, analysis, Vijay, I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I am though. We should definitely see a pullback, but the magnitude is probably lesser. We might only see 10 to 15% drops. So this is the thing, you guys. This will be a roller coaster, like I just said in the newsletter. And it's very important when you know you have a good thing, like Bitcoin is. We've been saying this all year. When you know you have a good thing fundamentally, it's only a matter of time before the price catches up. And now the price is catching up. Again, now the FOMO, the hype cycle is really coming into play when things can get a little scarier. So 10 to 15% drops, you guys. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys were involved in the 2017 bull run. I was. It's a lot of volatility. It takes thick skin. But trust me, it does build character if you are able to weather that volatility. And again, if you guys know you have a good thing fundamentally, if you're confident like I am that at the end of 2021, Bitcoin is going to be higher than it is now, and I think it's going to be significantly higher, then 10 to 15% drops mean nothing. I mean, just flies right over your head. Okay, so that's the beauty of being in this game for a long time. It also speaks to just stay in the game. If you do, if this is your first rally, if this is your first hype cycle, stay in it. Stay in it, because again, it builds character, it builds thick skin, and that really pays off in the long term. Okay, so that is that again, you guys. Nothing real tangible here. This is just to reinforce just the bullish outlook and just the bullish sentiment around Bitcoin right now from literally every market. Like you look up Bitcoin news, every single big media outlet has a Bitcoin related article for the bull case out right now. So that's just a good sign itself. Again, it's all hype. The more people learn, the more educated people get on Bitcoin, the higher the price is going to go, because it's such a freaking great product. Okay. So that said, let's move on to the charts, Bitcoin, ETH, and Link, and then again, we'll get into the little XRP mix up at the end of the video. So right now, Bitcoin, as we expected, you guys, using what was the line of resistance on this very, not very long-term, but pretty darn long-term ascending channel. Very solid ascending channel for the most part. These are very strong trends in my eyes, trend lines, I should say. And we are successfully dancing almost literally right on top of that as I'm recording this video. So that's a very good sign. It's good to know that this, what was once resistance, is now being used as support. It has confirmed that. We dipped down below it a few times, but immediately reclaimed it. That shows me that these are some bear traps in play. They're trying to bait the bears. They're trying to get people to sell, but it's immediately being bought back up and really floating right on top of this again, what once was a line of resistance, now used as a line of support. And it's very likely to me that we see another run up unless we significantly break this. So before I get to the upside, the downside possibility that could play out right now is if we do, say, close a 4-hour candle below this line of support right here. And again, I always recommend you guys draw these lines on your charts for yourself, so you can always keep an eye on them, because again, you just watched this video for like 20 minutes a day. So always look at the charts for yourself, guys. You guys keep an eye on it for yourself. Always be learning yourself. That's very important. Okay. So if we do close a 4-hour below this, what now is a line of support, and do reclaim this ascending channel, it is still an ascending channel, but it is going to be bearish, because I do think that if we do close a 4-hour significantly below this, I'll say, because we did close, we did close some 4 hours over here. Maybe if we close a daily below this, that would make me a little more bearish. That would that would reinforce the thought that I have that we could go down. But if we do that, if we do close a daily significantly below this, I think it's likely that we come to test the bottom side of this channel in the short term, which would take us to about $24,500. Which again, you guys, it's not 5%. It's a 5 or so percent, single digit percentage drop. Not a big deal. I think once we come back down here, we'll probably bounce up, probably break out of this channel once again to new all-time highs, to that big 30K, which is the title of this video. I'm going to throw 30K by New Year's into this title for sure, because I think it's very possible, you guys. The fact that we are using this as such a strong line of support gives me reason to believe that we're probably not going to break back into this channel and test this bottom side of this channel. I think we're probably just going to continue this. We're at a high of 28,300, now 26,700. We have corrected a little bit, and I'm sure you guys are seeing what I'm seeing right here. If you've been watching the channel, you would know this by heart by now. So this is a good old Bula flag that I see playing out. You can see the flagpole right here, parabolic moved up, followed by a descending triangle, and that's a bull flag. And you can see here, I'll draw this for those of you guys who may not be familiar. Bull flag, which is likely to be resolved very soon. It's probably going to be resolved by the time I record this video. So very soon, maybe like as I'm recording this video, this might play out. So again, parabolic move up followed by a descending triangle, usually break out to the upside, and that's what I believe is going to happen. Again, you guys, remember, this is just all my opinion, but I think because this is being used as such a significant line of support, and we're printing a bull flag at the same time, that is two bullish catalysts in my eyes, and it leads me to believe that we're probably going to pop up again. And that's why I really do believe that a $30,000 Bitcoin by 2021, by the new year, is very, very likely. And I remember yesterday, if you guys watched me talk about Bitcoin, I did call about like, I can't remember if I said like 30K, 35K, just like right between the fibs. I'm not going to go back to the fibs now, but I do think I agree with a lot of people. A lot of analysts are saying 30K is likely we're going to see a pullback. And a lot of times, a lot of people are reading that. You're going to will that into existence. And that's kind of the weird part of the markets. Again, that's where I said game theory is going to come into play. If a lot of people believe that we're going to see a pullback at 30K, we're probably going to see a pullback at 30K just because that's the hive mind mentality. And it's kind of lame that that's how the markets work, that the hive mind is so like plays such a significant role in the markets. But that's pretty much what the markets are. It's a one big hive mind. Okay, so 30K, obviously, significant psychological even as well. 20K was the last high. We just breached it. 30K, everyone's going to be like, damn, that's crazy. We're at 30K. And again, it gets very game theoretical at this point, you guys. I think it's pretty likely that we do see a pullback around 30K. We could go a little higher than that. But 30K is a pretty conservative estimate, and we're getting pretty damn close considering we just broke 28K today, okay? So I think a lot of the very short-term run could be over. We could kick off 2020 at 30K, but I do think probably early January, just because some of you guys may have heard me say this before. I've played bubbles. I've like made the majority of my money capitalizing on bubbles in the market, whether it's crypto, cannabis, again, Moderna, the biotech bubbles. A lot of those, it's very rare that the short-term rallies prior to a pullback last more than a few weeks, and that's what we're seeing in Bitcoin. So let's zoom out a little bit. Like this crazy rally we saw started on the 15th of December. So again, 2-3 weeks, maybe 21 days. It's rare that you see parabolic rallies last longer than that prior to a pullback. Okay, so that said, once we do see a pullback, say we do reach 30K and then want to pull back, it would make sense that we come to retest some of these levels. There's a lot of support. We spent a lot of time around this area right here at about like 23, 24K, give or take, you know. So it would make sense to me. This is the high set before this recent high. So that's TA 101 right there, you guys. The previous high will a lot of time act as the floor for the correction. So if we do hit 30K, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see a pullback down to like 23.5, 24K. Worst case scenario is we come down to this area as a full correction. This is a worst case scenario in my mind, that I do think is likely to play out at some point, in all honesty, that we pull back to this actual previous high prior to the significant rally up, like this 2 to 3 week rally that we are seeing right now, around this area at 20K. Again, 20K, obvious line of resistance. You're looking at about a 30% pullback if we do see that from 30K to 20K. But that's the game, you guys, and I'm not going to be surprised at all to see that. I'm actually predicting that at some point. I don't know when, because again, we're still kind of in that blue sky territory. I'm going to keep saying that. But yeah, just keep your eyes peeled, guys. There's going to be a lot of volatility along the way, and that's why I said just if you believe in this thing long term, if you think it's going to be higher at the end of 2021 than it is right now, then just don't worry about it. I do these TAs all the time, but I don't trade Bitcoin. I trade Bitcoin-related stocks. I don't trade Bitcoin, guys. I only accumulate Bitcoin. So if we pull back here, I'm pumped because I can just buy more Bitcoin, okay? Because I'm a absolute long-term boolah on Bitcoin. So we'll call it there, you guys. That was pretty long, but again, Bitcoin king of the sector. I want to give you guys my full breakdown and kind of do my best to articulate all the thoughts that I currently have around Bitcoin as we head into 2021. So that's BTC. Let's move on to Ether. Ether's obviously been ripping as well. Bitcoin king. So it hasn't quite been keeping up from a price action perspective, but still doing very well. And Ether is printing it's kind of a rising wedge. But it's like an ascending channel rising wedge. It's not really a pattern, but this is definitely the general trend lines that it is following. It's hard to kind of pinpoint what pattern this is, but it doesn't really matter what pattern exactly it is. Just look at the trend lines. The trend lines tell much more than actual defined patterns. So the trend line right here, this is the top trend, obviously using this point of contact on this current rally, this point of contact to draw that. This very solid line of support since over the past few days, over the past week or so. So it makes sense that it would surprise me if we break below this. I think the low side target for Ether would be about 675, which is not that significant of a pullback to test this area. This is this is a solid trend line. This is a solid line of support right here. So it would surprise me. It's very possible. All of this, it's always possible for these to just absolutely tank. I think it's unlikely that we break below 675. So that's the low side. Maybe we come down here, but ultimately I think it's very likely that we do come up to test the top side of this ascending wedge, ascending channel, rising wedge, whatever you want to call it. And that would bring us to, say we hit it on New Year's, that would bring us to about an $860 Ether. And keep in mind, you guys, although Bitcoin is at all-time highs, many altcoins like Ethereum are not. Ethereum's all-time high was about like 1450, I believe. So still has a ways to go. It can still pretty much double. It can still over double from where it's at right now, considering it's at about $715. So it could still over double from this point and still not even be at its all-time highs. Just watched a great interview with I believe Tyler Winklevoss. He was talking about a 75K Ether if Ethereum as the product consumes the market cap of gold as well, which is his thesis for Bitcoin. That would take it to a $9 trillion market market cap, and that would take us to about a $75,000 Ether. So I think that's highly, highly, highly unlikely in the year 2021. Bitcoin, maybe, probably not. This is more of a decade thing, I think, for Ether, because so much infrastructure has to be built around it to still validate the project, in all honesty. So that is my case for Ether. I think one day maybe we do see a $75,000, $10 trillion market cap Ether. But I think we could easily break very, very easily break all-time highs. I think by the end of the cycle, we could easily see a $10,000 Ether, which obviously from this point is still over a 10x, okay? But short term, I think it's pretty likely that we come up to test this top side of resistance on whatever you want to call this. That would bring us to, once again, $865 on the 1st of 2021. Okay, moving on to Chainlink, and then we'll get to the sad story that is XRP. So Chainlink actually did see, this came when so this is the cloud. I talked about this in the newsletter. This is the cloud that was set over the entire altcoin space, which is why a lot of altcoins are lagging right now. And I've been getting a lot of questions lately as well, like, oh, this altcoin is on fire, this altcoin 3x in a single day. That is what I want all of you guys. This is one of the few pieces of financial advice I will give on this channel. Don't play those. You can make money. That's a casino. That's gambling. This is, you call this gambling, you can call this whatever you want, but for the most part, I win the majority of the time. Therefore, I do understand the odds are in my favor, and that makes it not gambling in my eyes. And that's what makes a successful trader, when you play only knowing the odds are on your side. Those types of coins are pump and dumps. The majority of the time, it's very unlikely that those small coins will exist for longer than a few months or longer than the cycle, and then they'll go down the road of XRP and many other projects that have been sued and fined by the SEC. Okay. So Chainlink, on the other hand, which I'm talking about for a long time. Fun fact, first video about investing I uploaded on this channel. You can go check that out if you want to see me look like a fool. But Chainlink was at, I think, around $1 at the time of making that. Of course, went on to 20x all the way up to about $20, which is this purple line right here. But again, Chainlink, it did see this like almost flash crash all the way down to $7 from about $12. That's like 40% pullback right there. Crazy times, but that was because of the Ripple lawsuit. And a lot of people were like, maybe they're going to go after Chainlink next because it's such a large project at this point. So they're going to go for the big dogs and, of course, work their way down. Because the more capital that's involved in the project, the more high ticket the more high priority of a case it could potentially be to the SEC. Okay, so Chainlink did see that flash crash, really picked up quickly to come up and almost test the line of support on this ascending channel that will now be resistance. Again, you guys, goes both ways. What was once support will be new resistance. What was once resistance will be new support. And Chainlink was in the most beautiful textbook ascending channel I've ever seen in my entire life. Like this right here is that's what you put in a trading textbook. Is you screenshot this and you put that in a trading textbook for ascending channel right there. So unfortunately it did break below that. And again, it will have to reclaim that for me to get short-term bullish on Chainlink. But because there's so much positive sentiment around the cryptocurrency market right now, I think it's very possible. And once we do reclaim this ascending channel, so this is what to keep an eye on, is about like the $13.5, $14 level. If we can close over the next week or so above $14 for Chainlink, I think it's very likely to come up once again to test the top side of this very, very strong ascending channel. That would bring us to about $17.50, say just January 7th, just because that's where my cursor fell onto. Okay, so that said, over the course of this year, because Chainlink is a great product, I've listened to interviews with the founder. He has a great interview with Pomp, if you guys want to listen to that. It's an Oracle solution. It really serves a purpose in DeFi, which is decentralized finance, and Finance 2.0, which is DeFi. So again, I'm very fundamentally bullish on Chainlink. I think Chainlink could easily break. We saw Ether go from like $60 to $1,400, so it wouldn't surprise me at all to see Chainlink go to at least $100, which is, I'm close to a 10x from here. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see a $100 Chainlink over the course of 2021. But for the short term, if we break back into this ascending channel, I think we could easily see a $17.50 Chainlink in the pretty near future. Kicking it off, XRP. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this bummer. So Ripple could be the biggest catch in SEC's request to clean crypto ecosystem. The SEC has unveiled its complaint against Ripple, charging the company with unlawful issuance of securities in the form of sales for XRP, its cryptocurrency. Ripple had previously warned that the SEC would take such an action. This complaint is the latest among a string of cases that the federal agency has brought against the issuers of cryptocurrency tokens in ICOs. So again, ICOs are the same exact equivalent to all these projects popping up, these DeFi, these weird DeFi projects, these fringe projects that are like 300xing in a day and pump and dump schemes. That's why so many ICOs, and now they're like IEOs, or initial exchange offerings. There's a lot of sketchy things out there, you guys. That's why I only play. Even XRP was kind of a stretch for me. These are pretty much the only tokens that I like, that I think have actual staying power. And again, you guys, that's to each their own. You guys do whatever you want. Obviously, you're gonna do that. But I highly advised against it. I highly advise against it. Okay. Sorry, fully lost track. It pisses me off talking about these things. The current case could prove to be the agency's biggest catch yet. XRP is the third largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization, and its parent company has inked agreements with central banks around the world to implement distributed ledger technology, DLT, to enable faster processing of transactions. Key takeaways: the SEC has alleged that Ripple conducted an unlawful issuance of securities in the case of against XRP. XRP's price crashed after the federal agency filed its case, and the crypto ecosystem is moving to withdraw support for the cryptocurrency. So, I was going to make this in the Waves Weekly that I didn't end up posting because the file got freaking corrupted and I wasn't going to record it. But it's crazy that we saw this bounce right here. Okay, so from this is kind of when all that stuff went down. We saw Ripple going off a cliff, and it's surprising to me. Not really, because this was a trend line. It makes sense that we saw a bounce up to here. But we saw a bounce from about 20 cents all the way up to 38 cents. We saw it double on the bounce. That was a straight up dead cat bounce. This is a dead cat. This is thumbs down. This is definitely a dead cat. Again, sold my entire bag of XRP. Not even going to do TA on it just because it's going down. This is going down, and it sucks. It sucks to say that because I was Ripple's been so, XRP more specifically, and Ripple, because they're the company behind XRP, has been so heavily scrutinized for so long for this token, for being fraudulent, for having fraudulent practices. And that is why I want you guys to watch this. If you really want an idea of what's going on with Ripple, if you still hold a bag, if you're still staying optimistic, watch this, please. Because you guys know I've made videos on Ripple in the past. I held a bag of Ripple since 2017. Been very bullish. And it sucks to know that this is the reality of what's going on at Ripple, the company, and I think it's game over. I think it's game over for Ripple. I could be wrong. Maybe they could make a comeback. Hopefully they do. Even though I sold my entire position, this is a sketch situation, you guys. And watch this. I'm not going to go into the details. I don't want to talk your guys' ears off, and I can't articulate it nearly as well as he did. So, again, you guys, if you do want to learn more about this week in startups, emergency pod, Ripple sued by SEC over XRP cryptocurrency, breaking down the SEC complaint. And again, Jason Calacanis, early Uber investor, he's such a competent angel investor, like one of Chamath, Palihapatiya's best friends, who's one of the most brilliant minds in this space, in my opinion. So, highly recommend you guys check this out. It's about a half-hour listen if you guys want to know what's going down with XRP. But convinced me to sell my entire bag, and I will no longer be covering XRP on this channel, unfortunately. Okay, so sorry to end it with bad news there, but still great news. BTC, again, let's see that $30,000 Bitcoin on NYE. We're popping champagne. We're still popping. Today was a great day, you guys. Drop some love in the comments down below if you guys. I know so many of you are playing Riot and Mara and stuff, and that just makes me so. Like I've said this before, it's cheesy. I'll say it again. It's real. I wake up in the morning. I know I've made a bag. I know I made a fat bag. I don't even have to look at the stocks. I just know, because I knew all these stocks were going to gap up significantly this morning. Today, one of my biggest days as a trader once again. And yeah, that's the beauty of being in a bull market. Spotting a trend early. That's why I swing trade. You spot fundamental trends, hold them. Do TA, do the proper due diligence aside from fundamental analysis, from knowing you got a good thing, and just ride the wave, guys. Just ride the wave, okay? So, again, let me know down in the comments below if you do think we're going to close out 2020 with a $30,000 Bitcoin. Let me know what your favorite play among the plays we're talking about is. Hopefully it's not XRP. If it is, still let me know, though. I'm not one to judge. Of course, let me know. Talk to me about whatever you want in the comments down below. Always love talking shop. Always love learning from you guys. So I'll catch you downstairs. And until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.